So today I want to talk about why the range knob on a compressor is one of my favorite mixing tools. So I'm going to show you how I use it on vocals, I'll show you how I use it on synths, and I'll show you how I use it on a full mix too. Now this is the mix project we're going to use as an example. It's one of my own tracks I'm working on, but let's check it out. We're going to make this a lot better by the end of the video.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long. You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong, we're wrong, we're wrong?
So in this part, the balance sounds pretty good. But when the vocals come back in, it's going to throw everything off. When the vocal comes in the drop, it just gets totally buried in the mix. Like there's way too much going on, but we can fix all that with the range knob. So let's start with the vocals.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
Now, a lot of you probably know this already, but it's pretty common after the reverb to have a compressor that's side-chained to the main vocal signal, so the reverb ducks out of the way of the vocal, but there's a problem with this method. So you can see the reverb level is ducking out of the way of the main vocal. But the volume of this reverb is moving all over the place, like it's way too jumpy. So a simple fix for this would just be to take the range knob and let's move this to like 4 decibels. And we can mess with the threshold a little bit. And now what's happening is the reverb signal is ducking exactly 4 decibels every time the vocal comes in. And when the phrase ends, the reverb level comes up to normal. So I've been playing just the reverb signal. Let's bring the actual vocal back in.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
So if we turn the range off,
You say you'll make it right, but what would happen?
look at how much and listen to how much the reverb level's moving around.
I know we see the light.
That's just so distracting in the context of the whole mix. So it's a lot better if we take this range knob and dial that in.
But what would happen if we're wrong?
Now we just get that really clean ducking. And this is really helpful for vocal delays too.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
So after that delay, I would add a compressor sidechain to the main vocal signal.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching.
And this time I would also set the range, but I'm gonna make it way lower, like 10 decibels.
Say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong? I know we see the light, but we've been.
And this way,
watching
during the
way
actual
too
vocal
long.
phrases, you can't really hear the delay because it's 10 decibels down there. And when the phrase ends, the delay just comes up.
If we're wrong.
And then I would mix this back to like a normal level with the send track.
But we've been watching way too long.
And that mixed with the vocal reverb.
You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong?
We just get this really clean signal with the reverb and delay, and it's not gonna make the background of our mix sound crazy with the volume jumping all over the place. So now I wanna mix this vocal into the drop and make everything fit well together, all using this range tool too.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long. You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong?
So the vocal's really competing with these huge chords.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
So all I need to do is take a compressor on the synth chords, sidechain those to the vocals, and let's play them both together.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching.
So you can hear the chords are ducking out of the way of the vocals,
You say you'll make it right.
but obviously they're jumping around way too much. So let's just set the range to 1 decibel.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
So now it's really clean. The synths just move down 1 decibel every time the vocal comes in.
If we're wrong.
Now, someone listening to this mix on Spotify would never know that you're turning down the synths every time the vocal's coming in, but to them, it's just gonna make the vocal sound clearer. And that brings me to how we can use the range on the full track. So let's listen to all the synths and basses. So now I want to bring the vocals back in, but I'm going to sidechain all the synths and basses to the vocal signal so I can make a spectral EQ band that ducks out of the way every time the vocals come in. So I'll make this pretty intense at first so you can hear what it's doing.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long.
So you can hear the synths and bass ducking out of the way of the vocal. But we're going to make this really subtle.
What would happen if we're wrong?
So this knob here is actually the range. So we can set the range. And I'm going to set it to -2 decibels.
You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong?
And a lot of other spectral EQs like Soothe don't actually have this range feature, and it's super nice to be able to dial that in so we can just do some subtle suppression of the synths and basses as the vocals come in. So let me do a big before and after of all the changes we've done in this video. And if you're interested, I do mix music. I have sound packs. I have a mixing course. You can check all that out at bigzstudios.com. But anyway, let's do this before and after.
I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long. You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong? I know we see the light, but we've been watching way too long. You say you'll make it right, but what would happen if we're wrong?
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you found some of this helpful, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.